Hey guys, as you probably know, we have a podcast. It's called The Car Debate. It's every Tuesday and Friday. And we help listeners find cars they'll really love, and we answer your questions.
Yeah.
Along the way, one of the most common questions we're getting now is when we're doing this research, how are we finding these cars we recommend?
Recently, we've been using a new site called Autotempest.com. They're sponsoring a few of our videos to help get the word out.
Autotempest is a website where you can search all the top used car sites at once. You just type your search in one time, you find listings from Cars.com, eBay, and many, many more. You can even compare results on AutoTrader and all of Craigslist.
There you go. Now you know what we're using. Go to Autotempest.com or find the link in the description. On with the show. I've owned this car for just over a year. It's about time I did this year update. I'm also on one of my favorite driving roads here too. I don't know that growing up I was ever as rabid a Porsche fan as I am now. It started out with the 928. I had a 1988 928 S4. It was $19,500 and I just thought, wow, something different. I was 27 when I bought it and I loved the look of that car. I owned it for 3 years and then got a 2007 Cayman S, which I loved. That car was raw. I really actually missed that car in a lot of ways. So I saw this car, I loved the wheels, of course I loved the color, and despite the fact that it has PDK, I went for it. And I'm wondering, do I want the 6-speed? Should I have gotten the Cayman GTS with the 6-speed manual? We went to Autobahn Country Club. There was a guy there with a Cayman GTS, and he had the 6-speed manual, and I asked him about it. I said, I've got the PDK, what do you think? He said, you know what, honestly, I think you got the better car. So the question is, am I disengaged from the driving experience by owning the PDK? No, not at all. I love that this car requires you to be fully engaged, both hands on the steering wheel, and I'm not missing any manual engagement here because paddles, yeah, I love it. I don't feel like I'm missing out, even though that would be fun. And now it's time to pass. The first time I got into this car was an event. And as I've driven it over the last year, I still can't believe it's mine. It still seems like a press car or somebody's allowing me to use this car. When I bought it, it was a CPO car, which means the sales department had to go to the service department and pay for all the maintenance to make it a CPO vehicle. At this point, I've owned it a year and I've done nothing to maintain the car. I've got to tell you about the things I dislike. I know this is strange. First off, the horn. Porsche doesn't do horns very well. The second thing is the nav screen and the stereo and the radio. Just the fact that it does Bluetooth seems like a major accomplishment for this car. And to think that it was almost $100,000 brand new. Plus, it doesn't have a backup camera. Surprising. I can't believe it doesn't have a backup camera. And the biggest complaint I have about this car is the tires. The tires that come on this car, standard, are Goodyear Eagle F1s, but at low speeds, the tires take all the gravel that's on the road and throw them up onto the car. It's worse than a snare drum. You hear everything and you think things are breaking, but that's not the case. The blue, the painted inserts. Would I have bought this? No, it's a $1,200 option for painted slats. Not going for it. But that's why you buy used, because you let somebody else pay for it. That's the entire point. Another thing on the list of things I don't like, it's such a memorable car. It's very beautiful blue, and there's not many of them around here, so when I pass people and I have to remember not to do anything stupid or irresponsible or reckless, they're gonna remember this car. I've got to keep that in mind. I love that it's this ball of energy around you. Can I do it? Sure I can. The power on this car is 340, which is good, but this isn't the fastest car on the planet, and especially 0 to 60. There's a lot of turbocharged cars that are quicker off the line than this car, but that's not the point. It's about the maintenance of speed. Feels like you're wearing a backpack. Not to the degree of a Lotus Elise, mind you, because this car is still substantial. It still feels like a real car to me. It's got loads of space. Luggage in the front, plenty of luggage in the back. It's spacious enough, it's a real car. Suddenly, when you're using it like this, more things make sense about a Cayman, which means this is why we keep recommending the Cayman so many times. Yes, you can argue that it insulates you from the feeling of speed. It has speed as a second category over here, while you get to the business of driving quickly and taking the apex correctly and staying on the driving line and just putting miles behind you. And then, by the way, you're going really quickly. I look down and I'm astonished at how fast I'm going. I think what you're going to have to do is not look at the speedometer. Just enjoy the world coming at you. You need to put a piece of black tape over the speedometer here. Just, a little circle, a sticker. Just cover that up and you're good. So that's the debate here. Would I rather have a slower car that is not quite as ramped up and, at 75 miles an hour, I really feel a whole bunch going on? I like that there's something out there for me to attain. I can feel everything about the road, but the degree of precision is higher than the feel because I feel like the 2007 Cayman S that I had actually felt better on the road. I like that the road is muted just enough, but I still have that high degree of precision, and that precision is directly connected to the weight of the car. That's what I love about this mid-engine feel. Now, could it be better? Could it give me a little more? Yeah, but I'm dicing it up pretty finely. Porsche has made this a little bit more of an expensive feel by muting that and keeping the high degree of precision. That's what differentiates this car, being a newer Cayman. So of course this begs the question, am I going to keep this car? Well, yeah, the plan is right now, I don't ever see myself getting rid of it. For a number of reasons, notably the 718 Cayman. At this point, this is the last Cayman and the hottest Cayman, besides the GT4, that has the flat 6. The GTS is as cranked up as Porsche will allow themselves to go without turning this thing into a track monster. Because I thought, I actually considered a GT4. I couldn't really do it financially. And this is not a consolation prize by any means. It's such a balance of using it all the time and precision. That's what I love about this thing. Now, Porsche has claimed that they are going to do everything in their power to keep people from using their cars as investment-grade vehicles. I think that ship has sailed, obviously. I mean, there's cars that just aren't made anymore. They're so desirable, and I kind of think this is one of them. But I have to remind myself, as soon as I get precious about this thing, and that's Todd's term actually, he's coined it well, as soon as I think, ooh, I don't want to put miles on it, or it's too precious, the game's over, I've lost. Because if I can't just drive it for the sake of driving it, what's the point of owning it? It's such an event. This is a special occasion every time you drive it.